This week on the Navigating Personal Growth podcast, you're going to have to learn like the business of art, because just because you're a great artist, but then learning how to turn that into like a business and stuff. And so I feel like what you do is so niche and so unique and just a wonderful thing for creators. Hey Navigators, my name is Brooke Plack and I'm your host here today on the Navigating Personal Growth podcast. And I am so excited to introduce you guys to my friend Donna Maria. Yay!
Hello.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad you're here. Now tell us where you're calling in from today.
Today I am in Washington, D.C., which is my hometown.
Oh, I love
sitting
that.
at my mother's dining room table. My mother is 97 years old, so I'm blessed
wow.
to have her and be one of her caregivers right now.
And that wallpaper is epic. I love it. It's like so chic. I love the wallpaper. So Donna Marie and I know each other from a program called Business Accelerator. I've talked about it several times on the podcast in my, constant, I don't know if I want to say the word infatuation, but love for Full Focus Company and for Michael Hyatt and his team. And so we cross paths along those ways. And she is a wise soul. So you are in for a treat today. So tell us a little bit about you and what brought you on the podcast today?
Well, Brooke, I've always admired your work, and navigating personal growth is something that I navigate. We all navigate that, right? And it's a passion of mine too. I'm an entrepreneur, and I believe that entrepreneurship is the best personal development tool on the planet. And I've used it as a tool to help myself grow and help others grow. And in the Business Accelerator program, that's one of the things that we did. And that's how our paths crossed. So I'm the founder and CEO of the Indie Business Network, which is an entrepreneurial training program for artisans and maker entrepreneurs. And so that is what I do.
It's so great. That's such a need because, so many creative types. My husband is a creative type. It's like I like to say he is a wonderful artist and he would love to become an artist one day. And one of the things we talked about as we were talking about vision planning and everything is I said, babe, you're going to have to learn like the business of art because just because you're a great artist, but then learning how to turn that into like a business and stuff. And so I feel like what you do is so niche and so unique and just a wonderful thing for creators.
I love doing it. This is actually, we're going into our 25th year. So I started it in 2000. And so with, just all of the changes in technology and really so many things have changed, but actually so many things have stayed the same. And so I've been honored and privileged to work with so many thousands of maker entrepreneurs over the years. And it's really my passion and my purpose. And I just love doing it. So what you're doing to help people navigate their personal growth journey is just so wonderful as well. And I think there's such a great overlap there. And that's why I was so excited to learn about this podcast.
Oh, I love that. I love that because I feel like, I say like some people in life start on third base, right? Maybe they have a trust fund and they have somebody investing in them and and then there's the rest of us who just start at, we're just trying to make it to first. And, like I started with no investment, nobody backed me. Like it was me in my garage and I had saved up $250 with one little red mat. And, you can grow, anybody can grow a business. I firmly believe that, but to be able to sustain who you are as a human and to be able to hold true to your values and still have the rest of your life requires a tremendous amount of personal growth that nobody can do for you, right? Like it's something that we all have to dig in and like go for. So tell us a little bit about how you got started with this journey because it's very unique. And like, right now I say like everyone's going to be a coach or start a training program, but 20 plus years ago, I mean, that's a legend.
Well, I started because, I had a traditional career. I did all the traditional things. I went to high school, I went to college. My father was an educator. And so I did what he said. I got a degree and then I got another degree and then I got another degree. So it was all just because that's what you did. And I was fortunate that I had a parents who supported that. And I'm not, everybody doesn't have that. So I'm not making light of it at all. It was a great blessing in my life. However, after many, many years of pursuing that traditional path, I ended up being an attorney. I had a great job, corner office, all the things. And I was fortunate, like, don't get me wrong. I was in Washington, D.C. I was a lawyer. Okay. Like,
And a
there are worse
female
things
lawyer at that time, right?
and a female at that time.
And
There
a
are worse
minority
things
and,
that could
like,
happen,
just
and a mi right, all the
doing
things,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yes. But here's what I discovered after many years of doing that. I felt like I had sort of topped out in my career, like,
Mm.
and the trajectory and the path, because back then there was a path. Here's the path. You follow this path. And the path was very male dominated and very male defined. And so
Mm.
if you were a woman and you wanted to fit into that path, there were certain sacrifices that you had to make that as I was watching other women who were ahead of me, I it didn't appeal to me.
Mm.
And so I knew that I was either going to have to figure out how to make that path fit my life, or I was going to have to define my life the way I wanted it and then find a way to support myself that didn't exist. Like I was going to have to figure out something
Mm.
else.
It gives me literal chills on my
Yeah.
arm. Like, that's such chills because, I mean, that is so true for so many people today, because you
Yeah.
find yourself in a place of, "This doesn't align with who I am," not necessarily
Yep.
saying something bad, it's just not who I am. Am I going to continue down this path, or am I gonna choose differently?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
big.
that's
That's
exactly
big.
it. And put ourselves 25 years ago. There was no internet. There was no Instagram, there was no TikTok, there was no Twitter. Like, and Twitter is
Mm.
so different now. There was a little bit of Facebook, but it was on college campuses. Like, that
Yes.
was kind of what it was. There was basically no automation. There was no basically websites. Like there were email digests. That's what there was. And
Yep.
so there was none of that. And so here's what happened though. This is how the universe works. Because when you start looking and trying to experience, because I don't think you find your purpose, I think you experience it. So you have to go out into
That's
the world
good.
and say, okay, I'm looking for something, but it's not going to fall in your lap. You kind of have to go try this and try that and experience that. So what happened was, oddly enough, I learned how to make my own beauty products. And as I did that, I discovered I was pretty decent at it, but I also discovered other artisans and their products, whatever they were making, whether it was jewelry or pottery or soap or whatever it was, their products were better than mine. But here's what I discovered: I knew how to sell. I had an innate ability to market and sell. So I could sell things, they could make things. And I thought, if I keep trying to sell these things, I will eventually top out because my products aren't that great. But I could teach them how to sell because their products are way better than mine. So I thought, how can I flip this? I started my own cosmetics company. Products weren't that great, but I started meeting all these people with awesome products. And I thought, maybe I could help them sell. So I started having these phone calls. Do you remember
Yeah.
freeconferencecall.com? Right? Where you could
Yes.
and I started making audio tapes like, and mailing them to people. Like I'm such a dinosaur,
Oh my,
right?
so it's like mail
There's
order. Yes, like a
Yes.
catalog. Oh my gosh,
Yes.
like flashback to JC Penny Christmas catalog. Like, that's what I'm thinking.
Exactly. I made audio tapes, cassette tapes, and I wrote on them how to do this, how to sell this, how to sell that. And I would have them online, or I would go places, sell them out of the trunk of my car, and people would buy them. And so then that became freeconferencecall.com, which was like audio, like for free. We would like call into a number and press a bunch of digits and we would talk and you could have it recorded or whatever. And so that was the next iteration, which is now digital downloads, which didn't even exist back then. So I basically started teaching these classes. And what I discovered was everybody had the same questions. So I thought, I could say the same thing a million times, or I could figure out a way to open a business where I could teach a million people the same thing at once. And that's where the idea for a membership started. So, the Indie Business Network is the first membership based subscription business on the internet that I know of. I haven't found anyone that was doing it before
Mm.
January 16th, 2000, which was when we started. So that's how
Gah.
it came to be. Like I'm leaving out a lot because I could tell the whole story and we'd be
Right,
talking
yeah,
for
yeah,
100
yeah.
years. But that's basically how it started. And so my purpose has become and continued to be at its core to help women see that they can start a business and not have to rely on a traditional career path or a traditional anything or any third party
Mm,
to take care of themselves and their families because they can sell something they made with their own hands or their own
that's good.
intellectual
That's
prowess.
good.
And
That's
that's what
good.
we do.
Oh, that's good. Now, do you exclusively work with women or you work with men and women?
Well, my target is women, but men come. And so I'm
Yeah.
happy to serve them as well. And oftentimes what happens is the woman will start and then the man or their partner will be like, where's this money coming from? Like, what are you doing on the weekends? What are you doing when I'm not looking? And they're looking at the bank
Yes.
statement going, what is that? Wait, what are you doing again? Like they're thinking it's kind of hobby like and it's really nice. And then they start seeing this money and they're like, okay, let me in. Like, what is this? And some of them have actually either quit their jobs or in many instances lost their jobs because
Here we are.
2025. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they actually will join their partners' businesses and come into the Indie Business Network as a couple because now it's like, wait a minute, I don't have a job. Maybe I don't like my job anymore. Maybe I've topped out at my job. And what my partner's doing, oh, this is a lot more fun anyway. And we can do it together. So we have a lot of couplepreneurs inside the Indie Business Network now, which has happened for them either intentionally or because that's how life has worked out for them as well. And I love
Man.
that because you get to write your own story. Because I believe entrepreneurship is for everyone, whether you have a traditional job, which is great, no shade to a traditional job. If you have
Right.
a
Yeah.
job, I love me a good job. Right.
Yeah.
But these days, it's nice to have something that you can own and control as well, whether you call it a side hustle, I don't know, a gig, I don't know, whatever you call it. It's nice to have something that you can own as well because a traditional job today does not last for 30 years. It just doesn't.
Nope.
Sometimes it does, but it's rare. So if and when you don't want it anymore or you get laid off or something happens, you can get up the next day and not be adrift. You can go, I've got this thing and I can do it. And so now I can get up the next day. I may have a pity party because I lost my job, but I can get up the next day and say, I have 100 followers on Instagram and they like when I talk about this. So guess what? I can sell this or I can turn this into a business and I don't have to wonder how I can create something. I have all these examples of other people like you. You have a podcast. The Indie
Hmm.
Business Network is there to help us. They can train us and they've been doing this for 25 years and they have thousands of other people who have too. We can join there and we can all learn together and grow together. And
Mm,
that's,
man.
that's a
That is
great thing.
so good. That's so good. I read an article this week that said the average millionaire has 7 streams of income.
Yes. Yes.
And so
Yes.
I think it's so critical, like what you were saying, is in this day and age, right? Like
Yeah.
having one, like, get it if you got a good job, like, go.
Yep.
But putting all of your eggs in one basket is risky business because those pension careers hardly
Yes.
exist anymore. You can't work for the city forever. And so just being able to have that flexibility. And then if you want to choose differently, right? If you want to make a different decision, we are deciding to homeschool our son. And so by the time this episode comes out, we will have made that transition. So right now it's kind of top secret, but for lots of reasons that are outside this podcast. But if we were not entrepreneurs and able to create our own sources of revenue, we could have never made that decision for him, which is the best decision right now based on his current circumstances, if that makes sense. So,
It does.
I think it's so huge. So tell us a little bit about um, the different types of, okay, artisans, right? Some people may not know what that
Yeah.
means. What are these people doing or selling that you're helping them with?
They are essentially making the products that they sell.
Like
So
like
just
like what?
like these handmade earrings
Okay.
and matching necklace that I wear,
Cute. Yeah.
made
Cute.
by an artisan, one of our members. They make bath and body products, skincare
Mhm.
products, aromatherapy products, candles, uh, pottery, beard care, hair care products. Um, and when you go to an artisan market in your local
Yeah.
neighborhood where you are, those are our members. If you go to a local downtown store that is independently owned and they sell
Mhm.
products that they may make fudge, handmade
Yeah.
cookies, those sorts
Yeah.
of things, artisan tea. coffee. They're
Mm.
coffee roasters. We have coffee roaster members. We have members that make hamburgers that are unusual, like ginger hamburgers, or things that are
Ooh.
they're not big box. They're not
Yeah.
produced in
Love
a
it.
in a in a in a way that is manufactured in a factory. Um, we
Mm.
make and they change their products seasonally. Maybe they make herbal products that are manufactured by the season with things that are maybe grown by the season. They harvest a lot of the herbs um, and ingredients that they make in their products. We have artisan perfumers that make
Oh.
one perfume per season and they never make it again, right? Or
Oh,
they might
wow.
customize your perfume for you, but they may meet with you and talk to you about what your fragrance type is, and they may customize a perfume for you, and you can order it when you run out of it. It's the only perfume that's uniquely designed specifically for you. So we help them. They know how to make the products. I know how to make them too, but I don't make them very well. There's an art to it, right? I can
Yeah.
paint a picture. I can paint a picture. We can all paint a picture. You and I, we can both sing, but do you want to hear us? Right? We can, right? Because we can sing, we can sing, right? We can paint a picture, but do you want to buy it? So
Yeah.
we can make all the things. They know how to do it well enough to have another person want to whip their credit card out. But what we
Mm.
help them do is to add on these sales, add on the marketing. Here is how you leverage your personality. Here is how
Mm.
you leverage who you are, because other people can copy what you made, but they can't copy you. Right? You are,
Mm.
as an artist, you are the defining distinction. So we're going to help you leverage yourself to sell and to create a brand that combines those two things together to create something that is even more unique, that no one else in the world's got your fingerprint all over it. And so it creates the ability for you to sell that item in a uniquely distinct way. And that's where the
Mm.
word indie comes from in the Indie Business Network. You are independent, you are a business owner, and we are your network. So that's kind of how
Yeah.
it works.
I love it. That's such good stuff. Okay. So I'm going to go back to something you said towards the beginning. All right. So you've said that you guys have been in business for 25 years. You said that you were shipping audio cassettes. Okay. You are the literal definition of innovation. Like, tell us a little bit about this technology adoption, because so many people get in that mindset of like, I'm too old to learn this, or I don't know how, or but like you've taken a frigging cassette tape with a handwritten label and now have an thriving online business, right? So what is that? What was
Yes.
that technology journey like for you? And like, how did you navigate all that?
Well, one step at a time. Like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a
Yeah.
time. And I think, okay, so back then, I feel like such a dinosaur when I say that,
No,
back
I
in the
love
day.
it. I
But
love
here's the
it.
thing, technology has evolved one step at a time. So in
Mm,
2000, there was no Twitter. By 2002, there was a Twitter. So guess what we did? We started tweeting, and then we started blogging. Like we had a podcast in 2004. I don't even think the word existed.
mm,
So the beauty of being able to go one step at a time as these technologies evolved was that we got to add them on one at a time. What happens now when you start a business is there's all 50 of them. And so you start a business
yeah.
and you go, oh, I got to have a YouTube channel and a podcast. And so all of this is coming at you like, and you need this and you need this and then you need this. And what I would encourage anyone who is within the sound of my voice to do is to pick one. Like
Mm,
decide what your business is going to be at its core and focus on that and find one outlet and you have to pick and get really good at that one thing, maybe a quarter at a time or 6 months at a time, depending on what your resources are. It's going to be different
mm,
for everyone. Pick one and do it, and then add another one. That is how to do it. And so after 2 years, you've added four or five, right? But if you
mm,
try to do them all at once, you're going to hit a wall. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to get overwhelmed because you can't do it. Now, if you have a team of 5 people and you have the ability to add them on, they can do it for you. That's a whole nother story. That's not generally what happens, though. What generally happens is you start small. Maybe you already have a job or you're just starting small because even if you have a team, you still have to direct them. You can't
Mm.
abdicate the throne and just hire people and tell them to go do stuff. Right? You still have to be the director. You still have to be the brand owner and the brand leader. So if you're telling 5 people to go do stuff, they can't create your brand for you by themselves off in their
Mm.
silos. You have to do that. So my suggestion is to do what worked for us, and I know there's more than one way to skin a cat, but what worked for us is pick your niche, pick your lane, decide on what your core focus is going to be as you get started. This is for starters. Start, pick what it is, and pick one message, one core message, and pick one core avenue. Reserve them all with your brand, right? So that they're available for you when you're ready. Like make sure your brand is reserved at all of them. Make sure you have your inbound link from all of them, but don't start using them all right away because they will probably overwhelm you. Pick one and get really good at it. Pick the one that you're going to use and the one that you feel is going to be most effective at first, getting your message out there and use it and be relentless. Don't
Mm.
stop. When
Mm.
you don't feel like it, just do that one thing and do it for at least 6 months. Hit the ball back, hit the ball back every day. And after that, you're going to have some traction. You're going to have some
Mhm.
traction. And then you go, got me some traction. What's the next one? Is it a blog? Maybe you start with a blog. Do you start with a podcast? Maybe you start with a podcast. Depends on your target audience, depends on what you're trying to do. That's how we were able to do it. So now we have pretty much all of them, but we didn't start with all of them. We did them one at a time.
Man, that's good advice in
Does
so
that
many
help? I hope it
aspects of
helps.
life. That helps
Mhm.
people because I think that the
Yeah.
mountain for a lot of people is getting started, right? And,
Yes.
the making that first initial decision to change and then where do I land and how do I go? And, I did a coaching call with a girl this week that's working to launch her own coaching business for VAs
Uh-huh.
and she's got all the ideas. She is brilliant.
Yeah.
Like she is absolutely brilliant. And when I got to the end of our call, I asked her, "What is the most valuable part of the call today?" And she said, "Us figuring out the next best step."
Yep.
Just that one little step is like the most valuable thing out of everything we talked about in that 45-minute session. And I
Yeah.
think that's so hard is breaking down that one little tiny step there. So, okay. So you 25 years, you've innovated the technology, you're still here. You say the word us. What does your team look like now? So is it just you or who else?
There's me, and I have a very close assistant who is amazing. Shout out to Jennifer, amazing. She does a lot of the thinking, and she's
Mm.
actually the one who says, "These are all great ideas. We cannot do them all right now. What do we
Yeah.
like?" She does what you just said. Your person said,
Yes.
"Okay, what's the next step?" Like she
Yeah.
talks me off of a wall a lot, so
Mhm.
that's really good. Then we have a couple of tech people who help with
Mhm.
all the tech, and this is a really good example of yes, there are things that can be delegated, but tech people are great at tech, but you have to tell them why you need the tech. Like here's the
Mm.
end result that we want and then work back from there. And they will push all the right buttons and make all the right tech things happen. But you have to know what the end result is supposed to
And
be.
have that clarity on where you're going.
Have to be really clear because they will do some tech. It's like when you walk in to get your hair done and you have a really good stylist. If you don't tell that stylist what you want that end result to be,
Mhm.
you are going to have some
Who knows?
style, right? Who knows? And they are going to, and it's going to be great because they are talented, but you don't know what you're going to end up with
Yeah,
there, right? So
exactly.
they will push some buttons, right? But you might be like, I did not want that. Well, but it's beautiful. Yeah, but it's not what I
Mhm.
wanted. So we have some tech people that do some really great tech, some social media assistants, graphic designer, but they are all vendors. They're
Okay, so they're
vendors,
all
so
contract labor for
they're
you.
contractors. Yes, yes,
And how did
and
you
so
find these people?
um, I here's exactly how it happened. I keep going back to this, Brooke. I knew one thing that I needed, like, this is what I need. This is
Mm,
the end result I want. What does that mean for me? That means I need a person to do this. So I would find that person to do that. And if that person did that, then I would say, now I need this because you were good at that. I need more of that. And so now they're contractors, but they do this and that very similar tasks over and over and over again for different projects. And
I love
so
that.
that's kind of how it has worked. And it's almost like I like having contractors. They do different things and they work on their, I want them to have the freedom and flexibility that I have. So they work on their own time frames, they work on their own terms. 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. None of them do tasks that have to be done at a certain time. And that is how I
Mhm.
set my business up from the very beginning because my children were nursing when they were born. So I had to
Mm,
have the type of business that allowed me to work when I could work, not at 2 or 3 or 5 or 8 or 9. It had to be when I could do it. So, and that was one of the things that I wasn't able to do in the traditional work environment.
right.
So I set it up the way that I could do it. So the only person who really has a schedule is me. Like I had to be here with you at a certain time. I had to do that. My team doesn't have to do that. I'll ask them, when can you meet with me about this? And they go, this is when I can do it. And then I'll make myself available to them. That's how they're contractors. I have to be very careful about that, as you
Yeah, yeah.
probably know, for tax reasons.
Mhm. Yeah,
But it
absolutely.
works. It works.
Absolutely. I love that. All right, we're going to continue the conversation, but first, we're going to take a break and do my favorite segment in the podcast, Trivia in the Trenches. Are you ready for this?
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, you are. Okay,
Am
here we
I?
go.
I don't know. I'm a little
Yep.
scared.
All right, here's your question.
Okay.
What was the original brand of cereal whose mascot was Wendell?
Fruit Loops?
No, but good guess. It
No.
was along that same timeline. You want to guess again?
No, that was Toucan Sam, right? Okay.
Yep. Mhm.
Wendell, was it a bird? Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at cereal, and I ate all of them, and I'm gonna kick myself when you tell me who it was because I probably ate it all the time with my brothers.
Yeah, you did. You totally
I
did.
did. Can I get a hint?
It's a square. The cereal's a square.
Wendell
Thr
and a
3
square.
words.
Oh, I'm gonna really hate myself, and then we go buy a box of them. Do they still exist?
They still exist. Mascot's different, but they still exist.
I'm sorry, I give up.
Girl, that's okay. I get a secret pleasure of stumping people, so it actually makes me
You
super happy.
do?
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
know
have
I
to
do. I'm
add
like,
this to my
"Yeah,
podcast too.
I
I'm gonna add it
know,
to
right?"
mine. I'm gonna add it. Yeah, I'm gonna
Are you ready?
copy. I'm totally gonna copy. What?
That's it. No ideas are original. What does the Bible say? There's nothing new under the sun, so you just copy
Okay, I feel
away.
better about
Ar
copying now then.
Yeah,
Okay.
here we go.
What is it?
So, Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
Okay, there
That's a
were
good
3 baker
cereal
yep,
too.
it is, God, and it makes the milk
Yeah.
taste better, like,
It
after,
does.
like
You could just drink the
uh-huh,
milk. Just soak the cereal, pour
literally,
the
yep,
cereal out, and drink the milk. Yeah.
yep. So, there were 3 animated bakers starting in 1985. One
Okay.
was named Wendell. The 2 bakers were the other 2 were Bob and Quello, and they were considerably more, like, youthful, and Wendell was, like, the older baker. And so in '91, the younger bakers were dropped, leaving Wendell as the sole mascot for years. So there is the branding
Oh,
story of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
shout out to Wendell, baby. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I'm
I
sorry,
know, that
but I
was my
did
grandpa.
eat it. So
I did too. That was my grandpa's name, and so when I found that trivia, I was like, "Oh, we're gonna use this because that was my grandpa's name." So it made me feel
what a
super
great
nostalgic.
thing. How fun
Yeah.
is that?
It's so
Okay.
fun. It's so fun. All right. So tell us a little bit about yourself outside of the work that you do. So, what do you do for fun? What does your family look like? You said, I think it was off camera before no, it was on camera that you're in DC. So, I know that you're caring for your mother. So, what does your life look like when you're not working?
Well, my mother is 97 years old.
That's
So I spend a
amazing.
lot of time looking at her and bowing because she is so amazing. She has dementia, so it's a
Mm,
whole interesting world of questioning the brain. Like I learned something. It is the most incredibly bizarre condition that I've
Mm.
ever witnessed. But she has other caregivers. So my brother and I helped to take care of her. I recently moved back here, and let me just tell you, I sold or gave away everything I own. Like I
Was that
did,
the
I did.
best feeling ever? Were you just like, "Ah."
It's a very interesting thing. So I had just downsized everything. I have a coffee maker and an apartment 10-minute walk from my mom's house, which literally I did this 4 months ago. So the apartment's there, but there's nothing in it because I
Mm.
haven't bought a bed or anything. So I've been living in my Barbie bedroom since I got here, which is right down the hall here. And I'm still trying to figure out my next move. So that's kind of what I'm doing. My children are 20 and 22
Okay.
and they are in college. They are both athletes, scholarship athletes. I'm very proud of them. One
Aw.
is going to be graduating soon, and the other one's kind of in the middle. So I go to a lot of sporting events, and I cheer a lot. I'm a very vocal cheerer. In fact, at my last volleyball game, my daughter, just if you want to know what I do, I cheer a lot. My daughter said to me, "Mom, I'm really happy that you're cheering for me, but could you keep it down a little bit?" Like that's what she said to me. So when you're in a volleyball arena, you have to cheer a little lower. At a
It
football game, which is
echoes.
what my
Yeah.
son does, I scream really loud
Okay.
and nobody cares. Nobody can hear me. He
Yeah.
can hear me. Yeah. So I do that. I'm also like an avid fitness buff. Like I work out at Burn Boot Camp. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Like
I
Burn
haven't.
Boot Camp is the best exercise franchise on the planet. This is not paid, but I just love it. It's changed my life. I've lost 150 pounds in the
Get it,
last
girl.
couple years. I have.
Woo!
So I do a lot of that. My next move is pickleball. I have a friend whose
Same.
girlfriend is a pickleball
Same.
instructor, right? I've never played,
My son
right?
played so I have a six and a
Okay.
half year old, and he played at summer camp this summer, and now as a
Okay.
family, he wants to play pickleball, and I'm like, "We gotta go get some rackets because we have courts at our local
Yeah.
park, and we can, like,
Yeah.
walk to the park," and I'm like, "We've gotta get on this pickleball
Okay.
bandwagon." Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm super excited because one of my friend's girlfriends is a pickleball instructor. So she has promised to teach me how to play. So I'm interested in doing that. And you know what? I'm planning a 25th anniversary. Next year is the Indie Business Network's 25th anniversary. So I am planning to travel across the country and meet with my members. So
Oh,
I am.
wow.
Yeah, so I just bought a new car because my old car had
Oh,
333,000 miles on it, right?
yeah,
Like, I
that's
ran it
it.
into the
Yep.
ground. Like, it literally stopped in the middle in the front of a Circle K. I called a tow truck. I took it to, Cars for Kids, which, by the way, if you have a vehicle to donate, it's a very worthy cause. Took it to Cars for Kids and went to the car dealer and bought a new car. Like,
Yeah,
that's what I
just
did.
like
Like
done. Here I am.
I
Yeah.
know, like, so all this freedom that entrepreneurship gives you has really created these amazing entrepreneurial relationships. I've had some
Mm,
members who have been members for 2 decades. So I've developed
wow.
amazing relationships. And by the way, entrepreneurship, as you and I know through the Business
Yes.
Accelerator, we've developed amazing friendships,
Mhm.
amazing relationships. And so my plan for 2025 is to travel across the country and meet and be with my members at their places of business and bring them together. Like I thought about having like a big celebration in one place, like bring everybody here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to them.
Oh,
So a lot
wow.
of what
Do
I've
like
been doing
meetups,
this
like
year
little
is
meetups or something
yes,
or yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes. So a
I
lot of what
love
I've been
that.
doing this year is figuring out how I'm going to do that. Part of it
That's
I'm going to fly, part
wonderful.
of it I'm going to drive. So I'm super excited about learning more about America and visiting my American makers and publicizing
Oh,
them. So that's a real passion of
oh.
mine. I've always wanted to see more of the country. So now I'm going to do it. And I'm so excited
Oh my
about that.
gosh, I love that. That is wonderful. So when you say they're members,
Yes.
like, okay, so they're joining where do you host your membership site at? Where's that at? Is that like on Facebook? Is it on Kajabi? Like where is that?
It's on a WordPress platform.
Okay, WordPress
At
platform, and so they join.
indiebusinessnetwork.com. So they join, and then we have okay, so they join. If you want some tech background, I can
Yeah,
give you that. But
yeah,
the overview
yeah.
is they join at the Indie Business Network, which is on a WordPress platform. We have a blog there. We host our podcast there through a plugin, a WordPress plugin. A lot of WordPress plugins, technical
Yeah.
thing, right? And then we have our community. We have a community platform on WordPress, but we don't use it. It's there for a backup because the community is on Facebook.
Okay, and
Now
is
we
it
are we
members
are about to
only?
change that. It is members only.
Okay,
We are
okay.
about to change that. We are going to keep this is an announcement. Like I haven't even told
Yeah,
anybody this.
here we
We are
go.
going to keep the Facebook platform, but we are going to migrate and open a new platform in another space because Facebook is becoming uh, a little bit outdated, antiquated, and problematic for other reasons. There are other spaces now that didn't exist when we opened that Facebook group
Mhm.
that allows us more community flexibility than we have on Facebook. So we're going to keep them
Mm,
both open for a while and see how it goes and give our members the ability to choose. And, you can't just shut something down when you have a
right,
membership
yeah,
like, we're
yeah.
just going to do this. You kind of got to let people, when you have thousands of members, so you just can't say, and even when you poll them and they say, we want to do this, you still don't know because they don't really know what they want to do until it's done.
Yep.
So we're going to have both for a while and see how it goes. And I kind of have a feeling that there's going to be a shift in 2025. So we'll see how that goes. But that's what we do for now. So we have our events. We do have physical events as well, but obviously we have a lot of virtual events because our members are all across the country. We do have members in Canada as well, but we only serve North America. That
Mm.
we do not have an international membership.
Okay, I love that, I love that. Alright, so you're gonna travel next year, and you're gonna meet your
Mhm.
members,
Yes.
and so are your kids also close to DC, or are you traveling to their games?
I travel to their games. So I
Okay.
just moved back to DC, which is my hometown, a few months ago. I my children were raised in the South in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where we
Mhm.
lived for almost 20 years.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we moved from the DC area down to Charlotte when they were very, very young. And so their dad and I raised them down there. And when they both went off to college, I moved back here. Their dad and I are unfortunately we're not together anymore right now, which is a whole nother story. But we are still co-parenting them, even though they're adults. We're still co-parenting. We will always be parenting them because we love them and we're still co-parenting. So, but they are grown, but they're still our babies. So
I know,
I don't
right?
know. Yeah, yours are younger, but you probably know that. But we allow them to be adults because that's what they are. But we are still parenting them.
Yes.
So,
Oh, I
yeah,
love
they're
that, I
still our
love that.
pumpkins. Yeah.
I love
hmm
that. So is there anything else that you wanted to share on the podcast today that we haven't touched on yet?
Well, I just would like to leave everyone with my belief and my passion and my true cemented understanding and experience that entrepreneurship is for everyone. And
Mm,
I do not believe that you have to have a team of billions and making millions to call yourself an entrepreneur. I think it's time for a new definition of entrepreneurship that includes
mm,
anyone who is making any profit and staying ahead of inflation in their business because
mm,
entrepreneurship will help you live a better life. It will help you navigate the personal areas of your life better. It will give you relationships. It will give you confidence and it will help you to see sides of yourself that you will not see if you do not have the ability and the confidence that it brings you to make money on your own terms. When you
mm.
make your first dollar selling anything and you make a dollar bill, this is why when you walk into some stores, they have their first dollar framed on the wall.
Man.
Like, why do you think that happens? It's not because they don't spend the dollar, they put it in a frame, not because it's a nice, pretty dollar. Like, it could be a crumpled up dollar, it could have been fallen in coffee. It's probably got gross DNA on it, right? But it's in a frame because it means something personally to them. I made this dollar. Somebody
Mm,
gave me a dollar because they trusted me, because I gave them something of value and they parted with a dollar bill that they worked hard for. I
mm.
did that. That is it. And this was the beginning. What started with nothing. What did you say? You started with $250 and a
Yeah.
red mat or
Yeah.
something,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
I started with nothing too. I didn't have a bunch. I had a law degree, but I didn't have a bunch of money. My parents,
Mhm.
when I quit my job to make soap, my father looked at me and he was like, "Excuse me? Like, I haven't finished paying your law school tuition yet, and you are doing what? Like, I already have soap. I buy it at the store. Like, I don't need no soap from you. My friends don't need your soap. They need you to give them legal advice at $400 an hour. We're not gonna no." Okay,
I
it was
already
not a
have
popular
soap.
thing.
Oh my
That's what
gosh.
he told me. He was like, "I already got some soap."
That is the slogan of the year. I already have soap. And it's like, yeah, but you don't
Thank
have
you
soap
very
made for
much.
me. Yeah.
No,
Ah,
girl, my father had a T-shirt that said, "My daughter's a lawyer." It was not
there
my
where
daughter
that
makes
went.
soap, like, yeah.
Yeah,
So
there that
anyway,
went.
entrepreneurship is for everyone. It will change your life no matter how big or small your business is. I encourage you to consider it because it is accessible to you today in a way that it has never been in the past.
Isn't that the truth? That is
Go
so,
for it.
so good. Isn't that the truth? All right. Do you
And
have any
follow
questions for me?
Brooke. Follow
Yeah, right.
Brooke
I know. I
and
know.
navigate your personal growth journey and listen to her podcast. There's nuggets in Brooke's podcast that will change your life. I have listened to it and I love it. And it's not perfection, it's progress. And that is what your
Mm,
podcast is all about. And that's why I
mm,
enjoy it so much.
Thank you for that. That's so kind. Oh, that
It's
just made my
true.
day. Oh, it made
It's
my day.
true.
So, do you have any questions
Good
for
stuff.
me?
Well, that homeschooling thing, I'm so excited for you, by the way. And I think it's a I love because it takes a lot of confidence to do that, and it takes a lot of knowing yourself and being self-aware. So
Mm,
here's my question for you: um, What is it that self-awareness journey? I would love to know how you got the confidence to feel like you because I'm assuming that you don't have like an educator's degree or anything
I
like that.
actually
What
have 2.
you have two?
I do. So I,
Okay.
I laughed
Okay.
earlier because you talked about your degrees, you know. So
Yeah.
I went to school for business, got a job in business,
Okay.
hated it, became a
Okay.
public school teacher, but middle
Oh, so
school.
you had it.
And so
Okay. Okay.
so I got a master's in educational technology when we were still using
Okay.
overhead projectors, you know, with the bulb and the
Okay.
transparencies and the wet
Okay.
erase markers. And that's when I started
Okay.
teaching. So there was, and then I
Okay.
got my post grad in ed leadership. And so but my son, we've always been homeschool curious. But my
Okay.
son, I told him, I said, you got to learn to read. I don't know how to teach
Yeah.
elementary school. I can't. And the thing about self awareness and just our
Yeah.
journey
That's
in
what I want
general,
to know. Yeah.
you know,
Hmm.
whether it's homeschool or what, it's about unbecoming. Everything is about unbecoming because you don't have to be a teacher. Just like you said, you don't have to be a expert business owner to be an
Hmm.
entrepreneur. You don't have to be
Yes.
a well-trained
Yes.
teacher because there are so many experts out there. I mean, I could
Hmm.
hire a coach, a homeschool
Yeah.
coach to coach
Yeah.
me to do
Yeah.
homeschool. There's experts everywhere and there's curriculum that are written by geniuses, people that have spent their whole lives devoted to pedagogy and progressions and mastery
Yes.
versus spiral learning and all of these things. And so I think the self awareness part is about unbecoming and realizing I don't actually need to know all this. I don't have to have it all together just to take that first step, right?
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So your message then is like once you decide what you want to do, you can empower yourself as you go because you can learn how to do
Mm.
what you want to do.
Right, which you always say, you
Okay.
built this, you know, plane as you were flying it, right? Your
Yeah. Yeah.
business. And
Yeah.
I was laying in bed with my husband last night talking, and he
Mm.
was like, you know, how are you feeling about this decision? Because we're about a month out from actually starting. So we got
Okay.
some trips planned, and it's going to give us time to get
Nice.
our curriculum in and his desk ordered, you know, those kind of things. And I
Yeah.
said, well, I said, I'm really trying to just give myself permission
Yeah.
to not have it all together before we start. And that's hard
Uh-huh.
for me. because I'm
Mm,
like, let's do, let's have the lesson and the schedule. I'm trying to give myself permission to just like, let's start
yeah,
and then let's build from there, you
yeah,
know? And so,
yes,
but I think a
yes,
lot of that is breaking the system because there's so many
yeah,
systems we grow up with around us and we don't realize how they've
yes,
influenced our worldview. Just like you're
yes,
saying, like, I had to have a job that allowed me to live life on my terms so I could work when I
yes,
could.
yes,
And that you broke a system doing that, a whole system that didn't exist,
yes,
almost invented the system, you know?
yeah,
So, there's gonna be a lot of unbecoming for all of us. I'm
unbecoming.
excited, I'm nervous, but I don't think I was always a self-aware person though, at all.
Okay,
And so I
okay.
say that because I think that sometimes as people, we get stuck with like a label or a mindset, but like at any time, we can make a decision to change and get a different
Mm,
outcome. Like we can say, like,
mhm.
you know what? I haven't been a learner. I haven't been a lifelong learner since I graduated high school and I'm 75. Well, it's not too late today. You
It's
can start
not.
today learning something new, you know?
Yes,
And
yes,
so I think just realizing that we don't have to become everything, we can just be and then
yes,
find, those legends or coaches or guides who
yes,
maybe are just a little bit in front of us in the journey. They
yeah,
don't necessarily
yeah,
always have to be experts, but somebody that's just
yes,
got a little more experience than we do, for
yes.
sure. That was a great question.
Well, and
That
what a
was a good
great
one.
lesson for your son. Like, I love that.
Mm.
He's gonna see that and know that he
I
can do
hope. I
anything
hope.
too, and you don't have to have it all figured out, and most people don't, and
Mm-mm.
that's how they become successful because they don't know necessarily, like, they don't have to be scared. They can say, "We're gonna
Yeah.
figure this out one step at a time, and whatever
Hmm.
whatever pitfalls, whatever challenges come our way, we're gonna figure it out because there's no going back now. We already decided what we're gonna do."
Yeah, man. Isn't that
Yeah,
true? It helps break down that barrier of fear for sure.
yeah, yeah,
I think. Okay, I'm going
yeah.
to ask you one more question that I ask every
Okay.
one of my guests on the podcast. I always end with the same question. And you may have already answered it because I'm like, this might be her answer, but I'm going to ask you anyway. So, what is one thing that you've always wanted to do, but you've never done yet?
Um I haven't always wanted to do it because I didn't know about it until fairly recently, but I wanna play pickleball.
Ah,
I
that's a
do.
good one. That's a
I
good
wanna
one.
play pickle I used to be a tennis player. I was actually a very good tennis player back in the day, but I wanna play pickleball. I
Oh, it's
really
going to be
do wanna
such
do that, and I also
great.
wanna travel across the country.
But you're
I
about and
wanna do
that's what
that.
I thought. I thought you
That's
were
what you
probably
thought
gonna
you were
say
gonna
something
do?
about going
Yep,
meeting your members and then traveling across the
yeah,
country. I was like, she's like got
yep,
this vision for next year that she's already
I
ready.
do.
And like the
Yeah.
amount of content you're gonna be able to like create and
I
show the
know.
journey and to be
So
bold because
excited.
you have no idea what you're driving into. You got no
I
clue.
don't. I
And you're just
don't.
doing it.
I'm just gonna do it. I've already identified, like, my assistant and I sat down and we identified where the pockets of the country are, where a lot of them are. So we
Yeah.
kind of identified, like we identified actually 25 different members with
Mm,
locations, like manufacturing facilities or retail stores or what have you, that they would want people to come to. Right?
yeah.
So we know where they are. This is gonna be so I
Oh,
can't
it's
wait.
gonna be so
Like, I
fun. I
haven't
cannot
told anybody.
wait.
You're the first person I told about it too, like, in a
Yay!
public forum too, so,
Yay! I love
yeah,
this. Okay,
so
so
excited.
if people want to find you and now
Yeah.
they're going to want to follow this journey across the US, what is
Yes.
the best way for people to find you and follow your story?
On Instagram and
Okay.
TikTok at Indie Business, INDIE Business.
I mean, the fact that you even have those names shows that you've been around for a while. Like, because those
I
are like, how did you get
know.
indie business? That's
I
amazing.
know. Well, and actually,
Yeah.
yeah, we nailed them pretty early on, but that's my point that I made earlier, like, even if you're
Hmm.
not gonna use them now, get your brand secure because I was a trademark lawyer as well. So
Mm.
secure your
Oh,
brand. Yes, secure your brand. Do that. If you want to have a business long term, do that. Make sure you reserve them on social media. Pick a brand that you can own on social media, nail them down, and then use them as you evolve.
I love
Yeah,
that. I love that. And
do
then
that.
if someone listening, we'll have
Yeah.
somebody that's a creator, or an
Yes.
artisan that wants
Join
to
us.
find out more. So do they go to indiebusinessnetwork.com, the website?
Yes.
Is that the best place? Okay.
Yes.
And business is all spelled out.
indiebusinessnetwork.com.
All right.
Correct. Spell it
Yes,
out,
that's awesome.
indiebusinessnetwork.com. So we also offer product liability and general liability insurance for our members as well. So it's
Oh, that's good
another
and
benefit.
hard.
Yeah.
That's good, and
Yeah.
it's a hard thing to navigate if that's not your jam.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And we have
insurance is a
fun.
whole
We
'nother
have
beast.
fun. We mostly just have fun. Like you and I, like I love
Yay!
thank you so much for having me, Brooke. This was so much
Yes.
fun. I
This
love
is
your
so
podcast and all your
fun.
work.
Oh, thank you. Well, I am going to be following on TikTok and Instagram, and I cannot wait
Yeah.
to see this journey for 2025. Thank you
Thank
so much for
you.
being here today. It has been wonderful.
Thank you, Brooke. Thank you so much too. I've
Yes.
enjoyed it.
All right. Until next time. Thanks for listening to the Navigating Personal Growth podcast. I'm Brooke Plack. Join me again next week on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube. This podcast is produced by ClantonCreative.com.